Good evening, everybody. Hey, hi, what's up? Welcome back to Saturday night. Welcome back to ROM Hack Races. I hope you all are feeling comfy and having a really good evening. It's about to get even cooler. It's week 262 around these parts, and we've got a level from a really cool maker, someone I think you're really going to like. It is 2 slices of cake tonight from hwailaluta. This is a really cool level. I think you're going to have a lot of fun, and it's going to be a good time. If you're just joining us, you don't know what's up, welcome to ROM Hack Races. Every Saturday night, we have a fresh Super Mario World Kaizo level that no one's ever seen before, except for the maker, of course, and the testers. But the racers are just going to have to improvise. They've never seen this level. They don't know what they're going to have to do. And they're just going to have to use their wits and skill and courage and daring and get through to the end. We did have testers this week, as always, and this week the level was tested by Fen, RB Pimlico, Mithrillionaire, and me, Glitchcat. The racers might not know what's going to happen in the level, but they do know the difficulty rankings that we've given it. And this week's level is 5 out of 10 for execution, 5 out of 10 for complexity. The racers know that there are 2 sections, and those sections are on average 3 out of 10 in length. And, with the racers were also told, how do you eat a cake? Small bites at a time. So we've got 2 slices of cake here, but there's a little bit more about this level that I will tell you in a little bit. If you would like to learn a little bit more about us and what we're doing here, head on over to romhackraces.com. That's our website. You can download this patch or any of the other 261 levels that we've raced. It's a fun little, pun intended, bite-sized way to try out a single Kaizo level instead of committing to a whole hack. It's a fun way to grind your skills and learn some more about Kaizo. We have 14 brave individuals who have signed up tonight, and we also have scouts who are watching all of the streams and letting us know who to rotate in, so hopefully we'll see everybody's clears. Those scouts tonight are What's Up Dot and Kelgand helping us out, and Dr. No, who is always so kind running the restream and also scouting for us tonight. 14 racers in total. You're seeing Germdove, Muzzle, Revelug, and B2 on the screen, but the whole list of racers in alphabetical order is B2, DE81, Ender of Games, Endless Ascent, Fernap, Germdove, Louis Douce, Max Takeover, Muzzle, Nathan MG, Proto Pizza, Revelug, Ricardo DeMello, You Fail Me, and Arcida. I don't know how Arcida got down there at the bottom of the list with an A, but it's all good. They're in the race. And if you're here to support one of your favorite streamers, feel free to put their emotes up in chat. Show them that, their community's here to support. That's always cool to do. This is a race. We say ROM Hack Races, but really, it's a fun community event wrapped up as a race. We're here to cheer on everybody, and you're going to see really good players playing against other really good players. So put some hype up for the racers you're here for. Put some hype up for everybody. And if you have any questions or would like to learn a little bit more about SMW hacking or Kaizo or what we're doing here, you can always just shout it out in chat or jump on our Discord server and talk shop with us anytime that we're not streaming. We do these every week. This is always a big highlight of my week. I have a lot of fun with these, and this is going to be a good time. So, as apparently according to the poll, I think pie won over cake, and we chat seems to prefer pie more, but I was going to suggest that it is possible to just take a pie crust and just fill it with cake batter and then bake it, and then, my friend, you've got yourself a pie cake. I did that. I've done that before. I don't want to say that I invented it, but I did think of the idea on my own and make one for Sky's birthday one time. So, just say you can have your pie and cake and eat it too. I am Glitchcat7. I will be bringing you the play-by-play tonight. If you have any questions about mechanics, feel free to shout it out in chat. And I wanted to say too, we're talking to hwailaluta, our maker, this week. They've made a lot of really interesting stuff, and they had tried to make something approachable for this one. Not a lot of regrabs, not a lot of advanced tech. They wanted to keep it pretty vanilla. So you're gonna see something very, very fun here. And we are ready to go. We got Germdove in the upper left, Muzzle in the upper right, Revelug, and B2DE in the bottom right. Let's do it. All right, so hey, yo, we're doing it. All right, RomHack Races 262, 2 slices of birthday cake, and already we've got some big moves. So we're in the Switch Palace area, and we've got the bowling balls. You see these rolling bowls. Normally, those are the bowling balls that Bowser drops during the vanilla fight, and here they are being used to keep Mario walking right between them. So we've got fire, and we're going left. We got fire to shoot the enemies out of the way. They cannot shoot the bowling balls. And we've got enemies to block the path and make things a little bit trickier. B2 down here in the lower right. B2 making some big progress already. Check this out. Really cool stuff. Now B2, oh, yo, keep your eyes on the lower right, because B2 getting to this damage boost. But what are they going to do? Oh, whoa, let's go. And that is a really fast one. Checkpoint already for B2 down there in the bottom right. Big stuff. But remember, there are a few sections tonight, so we shall see what everybody else has in store for them. So B2 working on the second section now. It's Revelug, Muzzle, and Germdove also on the first section. You can tell that B2's on the second because they've got that green area around them. So all the other players still trying to walk between those bowling balls, bounce off the Net Koopa in the air. But meanwhile, B2 in the bottom right here is working on this second section. We got a spin jump on some of the ball and chains. I think that's their official name, ball and chain. You can only spin jump on them, and you gotta make a quick little jump over there. The big line of red Koopas is there to kind of hold up Mario's movement for a little bit and make sure he falls a little more slowly to land on that ball and chain on the other side. And nice try, B2 on that checkpoint. We've got Germdove in the upper left also working on the checkpoint. And it looks like You Fail Me also up here in the upper right. My apologies, y'all. Sometimes on our restreaming tool, I am getting hit with like, commercial break going on. I will fix that, but I haven't because I've been preoccupied, kind of lazy, you could call it that. So I'm trying to update everybody just as quick as I see it. Germdove, You Fail Me, and B2 here working on the second checkpoint, and Revelug in the lower left trying to catch up. Now, you might notice that they're sliding, butt slide. I'm sure many of you already know, but in Super Mario World, if you crouch, press down while you're on a slope, Mario will start to slide down on his butt. And that's actually one of the fastest ways to travel in SMW. B2, yo, traveling down in the lower right to that next checkpoint. And we got Ender of Games coming in here in the lower left. But so we're using this butt slide again. Butt sliding, if you press down and slide, as long as you're neutral on the D-pad, meaning not pressing left or right, you will preserve a faster rate of speed than you normally would. And that's what's allowing them to cross that big gap, as well as the butt state can actually destroy enemies. So if they collide with a grinder or something while they're sliding, it will just destroy the grinder, even though it doesn't look like that's the type of enemy that can be killed. Mario's butt is extremely powerful. Although I'm noticing there might be a little bit of ASM that is preventing the grinder in the section You Fail Me. B2 are on right now from being destroyed. So what are they trying to do here? We gotta unlock the fireball. Notice there's a little Pobodo bouncing around up there in the chamber up at the top, and they hit that yellow turn block to get it rotating. And since the Pobodo is just kind of moving around and bouncing off of any surface, the Pobodo will get out of its little box and let them make the next jump. We got Louie. What's up, Louie Duce down here in the lower left. 3 for 3 right now, and maybe Germdove with that H making it all 4. These are the 4 in the lead right now. Still working on the first section, but like the racers know, there are remember the length of each section was rated 3, so they're noticing that there are sort of smaller checkpoints here, but a bigger level overall. And Germdove, whoa, it's Germdove versus You Fail Me right now, spin jumping on that fire in order to cross that gap, and You Fail Me still hanging on here in the upper right. Oh, You Fail Me, well, that's progress. But You Fail Me needs to know what they want to do. Oh, okay, thanks for that. hwailaluta. Yeah, no ASM. You can kill. Yeah, you can kill the saw. I thought I saw somebody slide into it and die. Maybe their position was just rough. But here goes You Fail Me with that consistency, grabbing the moon, and they are furthest along right now. These are some dry bones fish that can be spin jumped on, but will kill you otherwise. Normally you'd find them in the water, but you can just place them anywhere you want, really. And whoa, nice try. And some really delicate spin jumps there. Good movement from You Fail Me, but they could not get through that tunnel in time. Louis Duce in the lower left trying for their shot at it. This would be a sight read for them. But they need to be spinning on that fire. I really like that movement. You're spinning on the fire to cross the gap, then you land on that gray block, and then switch sides so that you land on the gray block so you can regular jump for the Koopas, and then you spin back onto the fire. Nice little switch around. I don't know what you would, just a little turn back or something. I don't know what you'd call that. B2, oh, look out. B2, I love this little face, this little grumpy guy. I'm watching out for the little grumpy face, but B2's getting to the grumpy face, but You Fail Me could be out of here first if they can get through all these fish. I like this style. I think hwailaluta's style is, they've made some really interesting like vanilla hybrid style gauntlet kind of levels, and I really actually love the sort of standard hard Kaizo hybrid style that's going on here. Vanilla cake really can be just delicious. And here goes Louis Duce, a nice strat. Oh yeah. So I learned something about this level, or about the game from this level, as Louis Duce is taking the lead into the second area here. But did you notice Louis was using the butt slide to get those fish out of the way, right? And when you know about torpedo Teds, here goes You Fail Me. You know that when you kill a torpedo Ted, right? Like the Ted stays active and it will still kill you. Well, You Fail Me's in the door and B2's not so far behind. And I learned while I was testing this level that if you butt slide kill one of those dry bones fish, as it's falling off the screen, it's still just alive. And if you touch it, you'll just die. They work just like a torpedo Ted. So actually, I'd love to see more like dry bones fish tech used in that way, where you like intentionally kill it with a butt slide and then trick off of it later. Yeah, the testers, yeah, Mythrillionaire, we learned that. I didn't know you could do that, but if like Germdove, if you're butt sliding now and Germdove breaks the butt state, they could still be killed by the fish that are dying on the screen. But looks like B2's not too far behind and Germdove is in there for the second area. So what do we got here? We've got this really beautiful water. Louis Duce already knows what they're doing. But I love the graphics on this water here, and we've also got the tide. The dreaded layer 3 tide. So this water is it's moving. It's rushing on and on down to the left, and so the players, it's a little hard to see visually, but while they're in the water, they are experiencing drag. The water is pushing them to the left, making it easier to swim with the current rather than against it. And that's making their rightward movement in the water a lot slower. And that's what's going on. But You Fail Me, looking like they know what's up on this green carrot platform obstacle. Louis Duce, though, getting through first. Could they get the H on this run? Oh my word, that was so good. Wow, Louis Duce getting that spin jump right through the gap in the boo ring there. And there have been some really cool lead changes throughout this race. I thought this was going to be very dynamic. Louis Duce now, they are moving on already. They figured out they want to rotate that platform around to get the jump, and now they're out of here, clipping through the floor. They're using those scale platforms to cut the line so that the rope will fall through. And if you're holding a rope that's falling, it will drag you through a floor and clip down. That's the only way to get through. And here you see Louis in the lower left fighting that current. They can only move this fast to the left. They're being drugged back. But they see that H, and yeah, Louis, no stranger to having to do this kind of tide swimming. I think we've all played Water World at this point, right? Water is fun. It can be a really good time. Holy moly, Louis! Figuring, oh wow, okay. Wow, Louis really kind of intuited what that obstacle was going to be based on the elements there. That is what you need in a ROM hack race. This is a great example of a level where no lead is safe. Louis is doing pretty well right now, but let's see how this plays out, because one good moment of intuition and one sight read could make the difference. That is true too. Just to clarify, the water is only slow when you're swimming against the tide. If you're moving to the right, you'll be pushed back by the tide, but if you're moving to the left, you'll be propelled forward by the tide, and you can move a little bit faster that way. But with this, I wanted to mention this carrot platform obstacle that Germdove is on right now. That platform will sink in the water, and as long as you're standing on it, it will keep going down. So what they want to do is hang out there and stand on that platform long enough to make it sink to where they can swim under that little ceiling that's there. And while they're doing that, they're watching out for the rocks that the Chuck is throwing and the circling boo ring that's going around. But yeah, again, this is true. We got Louie in the lower left, and when you are holding the shell, you can item swim, and you are moving a little bit more quickly, and it subverts the tide just a little bit. In Super Mario World, when you are holding an item underwater, you do what we refer to as item swimming, where the kind of normal rules of water don't apply, and you get to just sort of move around like you have a little motor. It honestly is. It's kind of like Mario is just like is like a little propeller. You know what I mean? Like an outboard motor. Yo, Ricardo DeMello, yo, 5 making it to the Ghost Ring. That's really cool. I thought so. I thought there would be like more racers on screen than that are doing well than we could even fit, because this is a very accessible and dynamic level. But let's take a look at what Louie's doing here in the left, because they are in the lead right now. They've got the star, and they need that in order to swim through those one-tile gaps. You see right to the right of where Louie starts out, there's a one-tile gap with munchers on the top or the bottom. Under no circumstances could you swim through this, unless you were Tass. But a human couldn't just swim through that without bonking on either the ceiling or the floor, and that's the need for the star. Germ Dove, hey, let's go. Up there, and Germ Dove is turning off the tide briefly to read the message box, and they are on the H, so they're catching up. One section behind Louie right now. So the racers need to grab the shell and then make this quick item swim. They cannot allow the shell to collide with any of the fish. If it does, the shell and the fish will just destroy each other, and now you no longer can move fast. If you were to grab, see what Louie wants to do is they want to grab the star, or they want to grab the shell before they grab the star. Because if they were to do those things in reverse order, they would kill the shell when they touched it. But in this case, yo, Louie making that swim and grabbing an H, staying out on top, but it's B2 and Germdove right behind. And yeah, in order to make that whole distance, they have to grab the shell first, so that when they have star power, the game thinks, oh, you're holding the shell, you're not touching the shell. If they were to drop the shell while they have star power, they would also destroy it. So they have to just hold on and not let go. But this is a cool trick that Louie's got here. When you hit the message block, the Layer 3 tide will be erased. That's just a quirk of the vanilla game. It's just something that can happen. You fail me? Oh, up and over for that checkpoint. Well played. But Louie wants to, if they want to hit the tide, they want to hit the message box so that ghost square, I think that's a urchin, so it falls and dies. Oh no, B2. Wait, I'm seeing B2 is offline. Did we lose? Oh no. Oh no. B2, no, how could you? No. Oh, that's unfortunate. But Louie, wow, all right. Yo, very strong plays. Louie Duce coming in hot for the win. They had that section solved. They made very short work of that star swim, and that was a really good clear. Nicely done. And 13, sub 1320. That's very, very good. Louie Duce for the win tonight. But hang out. We're looking to round out the first podium and then the second podium and get them all through. If you have any questions or want to learn more, please feel free to ask. I'm trying to answer that as quick as I can. But put some hype up for Louie, and let's see who's up next. We got Ricardo DeMello here. Hope B2 can get their internet sorted out. That can happen. But we got Ricardo DeMello here just about to grab that checkpoint for the, what's it, third or fourth section? I forget. I lost count. So I wanted to point out something here as Germdove is figuring out what to do with this green shell. I wanted to point out something about this level and why it is called 2 slices of birthday cake. So hwailaluta is a really interesting maker. I don't mean that complimentarily. I know interesting can be like not complimentary, but I mean that in a complimentary way. They're unique and creative and bring a very interesting hybrid style to the design space. So if you were interested, yeah, as we may see in the credits here, if you were interested in a little bit more cake, the level that was originally submitted for this week that hwailaluta brought us was really big. And we, myself and some other testers, were expressing concerns that, like, I'm not sure the racers would want to handle all of this at one time. There were, like, how many? Like 5 or 6, like, different areas with a ton of different sections and some kind of cryptic kind of setups that ended up being really cool. And so we were just concerned. We were just like, well, I don't know, if people are going to be able to do this in 2 hours or whatever. So hwailaluta was gracious enough to kind of produce a sort of truncated version of this and have the 2 slices of cake, 7.5 sublevels. Yeah, that was it was a pretty big one. And so, you know, looking at the clear times tonight, maybe folks could have done a little bit more, but we thought it best to err on the side of caution. And, you know, we're trying to create a fun experience for people, something that's gonna, you know, make them want to race and say, oh, I had fun with that, it was good, you know, did good. So, to that end, the rest of the level is available, or will be available. hwailaluta's got it. I've played some of the sections, they're pretty cool. But if you're interested, stick around and stay tuned, because you might get to hear about where you can get the rest of the birthday cake. I know hwailaluta's just kind of sitting on this one right now, but there is more fun for this, and there is kind of a whole really cool artistic theme that was running through the original that I really liked. So there is more cake where this came from, and we're getting just the 2 slices tonight. Look out for Germ Dove, upper left. They so I think those 4 boos in a square, I think that's an urchin. I think that's a floating urchin, just with the wrong graphics, and it's going to float up to the surface like that, but if the tide turns off, then it will sink because it's not in water anymore. But yeah, you fail me too in the upper right, illustrating why you need to grab the shell before you grab the star. Because once you have the star power, you're going to destroy any sprite that you touch, and that means the shell. Oh, Germ Dove, hey, wait a minute. Germ Dove got through that. Hey, wait a sec. Germ Dove got through that in a different way by just getting the urchin out of there. Oh, but they didn't get the clear? Oh, they might try this again, actually. Maybe they actually think this is what you do. They're not doing the trick of turning off the tide. Instead, they're just backing out. Oh, it's a sea mine. Thank you. Yeah, those are, yeah, you don't see those very much. Yeah, that's what they're called. They're those brown, they're not urchins, but they're like urchins. They're just like, they don't have a face. They're brownish. I know, yeah, sea mine. That's what those are called. That's not in the manual. So Germ Dove out in the lead right now in the upper left, but oh, yo, hey, all right. Good to see you back. B2, DE81, they are back online. And here goes Nathan, MG. Let's go in the lower left. Oh, come on, mash those buttons. They got it. So B2, oh, they are looking for the end as well. It's B2, Germ Dove, and Nathan tied up right now on the final section. This is for second. You fail me. Oh, sorry. Make that 4. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. You fail me on the final section as well. So all 4 racers right now are in the contending. They are contenders for the podium. I like this little strat that they're using. You gotta like sneak in when you are item swimming. Mario is always trying to rise. Mario is like buoyant by default. And so by getting your head right under the lip of that ceiling, you can stick your head to the ceiling and you won't actually touch the floor. That is what item swimming allows players to do. If you were not holding an item, you would not be able to get through that at all. But by having that item swimming buoyancy. Yeah, I think, yeah, B2 is also trying this strat of like, oh wow, that's really interesting. They're specifically trying to not turn the tide off, which, you know, that really makes a lot of sense actually, because 9 times out of 10 in a Kaizo level, turning the tide off is a joke troll thing that kills you. And the strat here actually is right. You could just turn the tide off and get that ghost or the sea mine out of your way, but you can get through without it. And I think that's interesting because I'm pretty sure, because I did this in testing, I actually tried the same strat that the racers are trying, because I just assumed, why would you ever turn the tide off? They always use that as a troll. So it makes perfect sense, I think. And yeah, here, you fail me and Germ Dove. Yeah, look at all these racers getting through, yeah, without doing that trick. That's clever. I think that's just interesting. And it's gonna be, no, it almost was. Oh, B2. I like how it makes this final section a little trickier. Yeah, you fail me. They've got to make the scale platform that you stand on one side and the other side goes up. And so they want to make the side on the right be high enough that they can jump and make that final leap, but they've got to spend enough time standing on the one on the left to get that to go down. And with the tide up, those fish are swimming in the way, and that makes that really difficult. So it's interesting that you can get through, but but B2 doesn't need it anymore. And there's B2 DE81. Yo, I like that. Even surviving, even coming back after the internet crash, and still coming out on top. That's a good one. B2, well played. GG. Oh yeah, they're coming in fast. We got Revelug here in the lower right. Yeah, butt Riptide. And it's You Fail Me. Yeah, see, told you. Yeah, we're all neck and neck. I thought this would be a really tight and dynamic race. Very accessible level for a lot of different players. GG. You Fail Me, getting those credits. I do appreciate a ROM hack race level having like the full credits. I like that. It's a nice touch. And Revelug here in the lower right, trying to figure out, yeah, how they're gonna get that final jump, and it looks like they got it. Yeah, they're coming in fast now. This is a good one, man. Fun level tonight. I was really excited to see how this race was gonna go. This has been awesome. Oh, Nathan, so close, so close. And there's our podium. Louis Duce, B2DE81, and You Fail Me. So now, right, we're going for second podium. Right, because the racers kind of divide up into pods, right? You know, we got our first three. All right, so who's gonna get number one on the second podium? Is it Ricardo, Nathan, Muzzle, or Germdove? Hang out. We got more ROM hack races, and if you have any questions, want to learn more, please feel free to ask. But this level really is pretty self-explanatory. I feel in like the stuff. Oh, excuse me, yo, Revelug with the second first place. All right, that's good. Yeah. Revelug top. Oh, and Nathan MG with the second. You'd like to see it. There's Ricardo. Hey, all right, getting into that final checkpoint. Muzzle not too far behind in the bottom. Germdove about ready to get out of here. I hope y'all are having a really fun week. Thanks for making ROM hack races a little part of your Saturday. This is all super fun. Thanks to Doc again for restreaming. I hope y'all are doing well. Arakida doing well here in the lower right-hand corner. Nathan with the raid, thank you all so much. Hey, drop a follow for the racers if you want to see some more Kaizo Mario in your life. There are so many cool individuals who stream Kaizo in our community. Would love to have some more friends and fans watching on Twitch or whatever platform. Oh, yo, looks like Ricardo. Oh, I get it. I think they're kind of assuming they have to do the thing they already did, where you cut the line and ride the rope down. But no way, Ricardo is out of here. Good job, yo, Ricardo de Mello. Really strong player, man. They have been really showing us what they've got in the skill department. And it's Ender of Games in the upper right. Arakida, Muzzle, and Germdove hanging out on the screen. If anybody out there, if you're interested in racing, these races are always open to the public. Whoever wants to sign up and be a part of it, you can jump on Discord to learn more, or if you really would like to volunteer or make a level or help us out behind the scenes, that would always be appreciated. And you can always do that right on the Discord. Wow, amazing. It's Germdove, Ender, Arakida, and Muzzle right now. We don't even get to see this first section again. Everybody's out of here. Germdove right now in the upper left looking for the lead. Arakida, though, fighting the tide for that H. Nice. Uh-oh, yo, Germdove here trying to get out of here. Yo, I agree, Doc. I love levels like this, which are vanilla tech levels that don't feel like vanilla tech. Germdove feeling pretty good right about now. GG. Man, this was a good race. Gosh, I love this one. Great race. Ender. Oh, yo, Ender of Games looking to get out. Jang Pickle. GG. I'm sorry, I don't know if I saw your name on the signups. But GG all the same. Yeah, the multiple solutions thing is interesting, and I like that about hwailuta's style. They really do a good job doing this kind of interesting hybrid of, it's not quite standard, it's not quite like, well, I don't say it's not quite, but it's a little bit of Kaizo, it's a little bit of standard, and it blurs that line immensely, where there can be like one or two ways to do something. There's an easier way, but if you screw up, maybe you could save it with the kind of harder way. And I think that's really cool and interesting, and I ought to be encouraged, right? You know, this, like I've been saying a lot with KLDC, nice. Oh, Ericida, that was so close. You know, like I've been saying with KLDC though, is like, I don't think prescriptivism in Kaizo is very helpful in any way to say, well, it always should be like this, and Kaizo levels look like this, and if you don't do this, it can't be like. First of all, so what? And second of all, even if that were true, don't you want to be a well-rounded player, you know, and play some standard and play some Kaizo? Like, what's the value of only Kaizo anyway? What's the value of that? So, in that spirit, I really like the stuff that hwailaluta and other experimental makers put out, where they are attempting to blur the lines a little bit between what is standard and what is Kaizo. How do we express interesting, surprising difficulty in levels? And I think that absolutely has a place here. So I want to say, thanks for being different. When I saw it was a hwailaluta level, I was excited because I was like, this is going to be something different, something not from the beaten path, and that has real value. Muzzle right now in the lower right, our current leader. Well, you know, thanks, because it is ROM hack races, and you know we do a lot of Kaizo. That's kind of the general MO. But there's a place for standard. There's a place for hybrid. There's a place for just Mario friends and fans who want to do their best and have a good time. Like Muzzle, like our pal Muzzle down here in the lower right, clearing the level, getting out of here. Sub 30 minutes is great time. For a great time, dial 1-800-KAIZO. And speaking of Kaizo, at the risk of being a little self-promotory, you know, I would like to extend a big old ROM hack races congratulations on the GDQ games list, and to all the friends and runners who got in for this marathon. We get treated to Grand Poo World 2 from the one, the only MFP. We get Strawberry freaking Jam, and if you've never seen that, wow, you're missing out, and GDQ is going to be a great time to watch it. The hottest Celeste hack out there right now. Strawberry Jam. We get, man, I'm not even done yet. I'm doing a Billy Mays here on you. We get Mario Maker 2, a glitch showcase. And that sounds pretty cool, right? But what if I were to throw in the fact that it were brought to you by the one, the only, Spaghetti Master himself, Carl Sagan, 42, bringing us the Mario Maker 2 glitch showcase. It's going to be fun. And maybe at some point, if they don't think I smell or whatever, maybe I'll run Luminescent for everybody. We love our trans comrades too, here on ROM Hack Races. And Proto Pizza, what's up? Hey, we get to see the first section. All right. Hey, thanks, Proto Pizza. Thanks for waiting up for us. They're just hanging out, you know, letting us catch up. Proto Pizza on the, well, first area. I can't really say first section. Gotta give a big shout out to Proto Pizza. The very first. I know there's a mad dash to be the first. Content creation is a very rat race of a thing sometimes, you know, who got the leaked copy or whatever, but I gotta give props to Proto Pizza, who did, and as far as I understand, the first shell jump in Super Mario Wonder has been done. First video I saw got posted. Ender of Games, yo, making a little bit of progress. Endless Ascent, working on that carrot platform. Gotta get that to sink down, avoid the rocks. Arakaida, yo, moving on here. And now they have to figure out what to do about this sea mine. I really like the sea mine as a group of 4 ghosts. It's just a neat thing. Sometimes if you... Mario World has this weird thing where, like, sprites exist in sets of sprites. So, like, you have, like, the ghost house set of sprites. You have the underground set or whatever. And if you, for example, put a water sprite in a level where you have the ghost sprite loaded, it will have weird graphics. And that's what's going on here. I think that's what's going on here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just a sea sprite loaded into the level with, or the sea mine sprite loaded in with the ghost house graphics for sprites, so it just doesn't call the wrong graphics. Yeah, ghost set is good because it makes everything into booze. And for, you know, it's Halloween soon, so we gotta scream or whatever we do. Yo, Proto Pizza trying to get out of this. They gotta hang out on that vine while that little grumpy face moves around and wait for the right moment to jump onto that green Koopa and get out of there. Oh, look out, yo, Proto. It's interesting whether or not... Oh, it's interesting. People, when they get to that place, they don't butt slide. Even though there are slopes on the ground. That's like, it doesn't occur to them. It didn't occur to me the first time I tried it either. Maybe we could cheer this grumpy face up with a slice of cake. That always cheers me up, frankly. So, interestingly enough, Munchers, the reason they work on all tile sets is because they're not actually sprites. Munchers are blocks. They're just an animated block, and that's how they are a global asset, as opposed to a sprite. So piranha plants, they're a part of a set, but Munchers, you just have them anywhere. Another thing which is interesting about Munchers, because in the vanilla game, they are in like 2 levels. I can think of like 1 or 2 places where you'll actually see a legit vanilla muncher. They're like the rarest plant in all of vanilla Mario World. And yet in Kaizo, they're the bread and butter of everything. It's just another interesting example of how Kaizo, certain things that we use in Kaizo was almost like a weird incidental afterthought in the actual game. But it's like the most important thing for us because we have it in Kaizo. Yo, Arakaida, ooh, trying to get out, but they also, yeah, they have not ripped the tide. Nice little dodge between those fish, though. They could get this. Oh, man, they could really get this. Hey, Muzzle, thank you for the raid. Good job. Well, really well played. Oh, Proto Pizza. Oh, what are you doing? Look out! Ah! But I'm really trying to think of like areas in the vanilla game where you're actually going to encounter a real muncher. I don't know. There's one level in Vanilla Dome. I think it's the last one before the castle, or maybe right before Vanilla Dome 3 or 2 or whatever. The lava raft, the lava raft ride level, raft skip, that level. It has munchers in it. And apart from that, I literally can't even think of any other place in the game where munchers exist. They might, no, I can't. You know what, I'm curious now. After this stream, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna open Vanilla Mario World up in Lunar Magic, and I'm actually gonna see how many munchers are in the real game in total. What do you want to bet? It's less than, I bet it's less than 20. Oh no, Arakaida, that was so good. Oh, they had it. They literally had it. They missed it by 1 block. Oh no, 3rd time's a charm. I like how the rope falls off the line on Arakaida's screen, but they can go far enough to the right that they can respawn it. There it is. 3rd time's the charm. Good job, Arakaida. Way to win. That's just another aspect of that kind of hybrid vanilla Kaizo style or standard Kaizo. That, like, in a Kaizo level, you have in a pure, you know, in a straight Kaizo level, you have like one chance to get that rope thing. But in this conception, you're doing a hard thing, but you can have a couple of tries at it. You could move around, you could respawn it, you could try again or something, and it's really interesting. Honestly, it's an interesting hybridization. But there's some credits. Yo, good job, Arakaida. That was awesome. Really, really good job tonight. Endless Descent, Ender of Games, Proto Pizza, hanging out with us. Yo, what's up, Max? Takeover coming in the lower left first area, but not the first section. Oh, Proto. Watch out, Proto. Ah! Oh, I don't mean to be just like yelling at the TV screen over here. I know the racers assumedly aren't hearing me, but Ender might hear this GG all the way from where they are. Nicely done. Man, everybody's doing so great tonight. I thought this was going to be a really, really exciting race. But I don't mean to be just like yelling at the TV or anything, but like it happens so often. If I had a nickel for every time that this happened to me in a Kaizo level, I'd be able to buy a whole Kaizo factory. But it's just like Proto Pizza, just like trying to get through all these fish bones. All you got to do is just crouch, you know, just do it, just press down. Like you just didn't think of it or something, you know? How many has this ever happened to you? A relatable experience, I'm sure. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of racers did that though. A lot of racers did it without ripping the tide. And I was saying, there you go, Proto. Oh, they got killed by the They got killed by the phantom ghost fish. And Fernap up here in the upper right. Let's see what's up. But yeah, it works both ways, with the tide and without the tide. And I also did that in testing. Was try to not make the tide go away, because so often in Kaizo levels, making the tide go away is like a haha trolled you kind of thing. So I totally understand why racers would just like take one look at that and be like, I definitely don't get rid of the tide here, because every other Kaizo level on the planet has trained them to not do that. It's actually a really interesting obstacle that hwailaluta put in this, to actually turn the tide off as part of the required mechanics. Proto Pizza, let's go. Shell jumping their way into the haunted river. Is that what this section is called? I like it. Haunted river. Munchers are in Donut Secret 2 and Mondo. Cool, thank you. Donut Secret, yeah. Wait, in Donut Secret 2? You mean the water level? Where are they in Mondo? I'm trying to picture this. Someday I want to challenge myself to draw a map of all the Mario World levels from memory. The tide. Yeah, you're right. There are munchers in Mondo. Yeah, the tide level. So Mondo is the level in vanilla Mario World in the special zone that has this tide. That's Mondo. Proto Pizza dodging between those boos. I saw that. It is possible. The standard vanilla boo ring that you see there, there's those, you know, there's like a one tile gap between the boos of the circle. It is absolutely possible just to jump through that gap. As a kid, that trick would have seemed unbelievably impossible, but it can be done, and we've seen it already here tonight. And these are, Doc let us know, these are the final 4. And we know normally we schedule 2 hours for the broadcast. Sometimes they go a little late, sometimes they go a little early. But if anyone out there, if you would like to give it a try sometime, you are always welcome to sign up and race with us any week. You will see the difficulty rankings ahead of time, so you can pick, what you want to get into, what you feel like. You can practice by checking out patches over on romhackraces.com, and you can jump on the Discord and hang out and chat with us anytime. But I would love to see some more friends hanging out and racing. We've gotten a really good crew of people. We always have we've bumped up our average number of racers. I think we've gone on average from having 8 to having 14 to 17 ish. So it is always cool to see new names and new friends coming out and trying it. If you'd like to get involved more, we've got all the information on our website and the Discord. I like this fireball obstacle. Yeah, it's a fun thing, and people have used that a little bit more as time has gone on, because the Pobodo fireballs from the Castle Sprite set, they just kind of bounce around, and they just move in a straight line and bounce at a normal, it's like a 30-40 degree angle or whatever off of things. And using them to surf and cover an area is a cool trick of level design. Oh no, Endless. I just now noticed, Endless Ascent, I think they're trying to do this obstacle, they're trying to do it backwards. They are using the scale platform to cut a hole in the line. When the platform scale goes over something, it will just overwrite it. Those platforms moving up just eat whatever block is in their way. And since the line that the rope travels on is a block, technically, the scale platform can overwrite it. So Endless is cutting a hole out of the left-hand side of the line, when in fact they want to be cutting a hole out of the right side. Yo, H for Max too. Sorry, I was not paying attention. Max takeover here on the, I think the final checkpoint of the first area. Here's another example too. Check out this obstacle that Max is working on right at the start of this level. This is another one of these kind of hybrid styled obstacles. A Kaizo level would only give you a by the books Kaizo level, let's say, would only give you one possible path to get away from those grinders, right? Max starts out by running around those 3 grinders, and they have to pass them to get by, right? And in this obstacle design, you could run under any of the grinders, or you could jump over the grinders. You have 2 options for a through line of motion through that obstacle, right? Follow me so far? Kaizo limits those options down to 1. And this is what I mean by kind of a hybrid style. There's 2 possible solutions. You could go over, you could go under, whatever you feel like doing. Limiting those and carefully kind of choreographing how many possible solutions there are to any given obstacle, that's where that hybridization comes from. When you add a little bit of leniency, when you let them, it's hard either way, but you could go over, you could go under. It's hard if you do this, it's hard if you do that, but either will work. That's what I mean by that kind of standard Kaizo hybridization. For example, a Kaizo level might, that same obstacle of 3 saws, a Kaizo level would make, or a by the books Kaizo level. I don't want to be real Kaizo does this, and it's not Kaizo if it doesn't do this. It doesn't, again, as we've established, it doesn't matter. Not helpful to us to act like that. But if you were trying to limit the through line of motion here, what you might do is just put spikes or munchers on the floor. Now, instead of being able to run under or jump over, now the player absolutely must jump over them. And they have to time their jumps and do a couple of regrabs to get over. I think the obstacle would still work that way, or you'd have to tune it up a little bit, but that's the difference, right? Yo, Endless? Oh yeah, they got it. They figured out what they want to do. They want to be holding, they want to cut the hole out of the net, or the net. They want to cut the hole out of the line so that they can be holding the rope as the rope falls down onto the floor. And in Mario World, because code is cool, when you are holding onto a rope that is falling through a floor, you will also clip through the floor. Just a neat thing that Mario World does. Yo, let's go. Endless Ascent. Yeah, now that they know what they want from this rope clip, now they just have to fight the tide. They're gonna get out of this tide pod. Don't eat it. They do look tasty though, don't they? But don't do it. And that's an H. Can't spell Endless Ascent without H. Yo, meanwhile, Fernap here working hard on this Pobodo section. I think, honestly, I think this is a good hwailaluta. I think this is a nice medium. I really, like, to be clear, I think sometimes if a level is too easy, if it's a, you know, we have the scale from 1 to 10, but I think, like, 3 is kind of like, 2 or 3 is kind of like as low as we might want to go in some cases, because, you know, sometimes a race is over in 15 minutes. You know what I mean? If the level is a 2 or whatever, we only have so many people that have signed up, and everybody is done in 20 minutes, then we just don't get much of a race that week. You know what I mean? Which is fine. I mean, we've had some really nice, fun short ones, and sometimes those really easier levels can make a really dynamic race because everybody's just running so fast. But yeah, I really I think that there's a happy medium. We do want a little bit of difficulty. You know what I mean? I think, honestly, I think, and this is kind of just me, this isn't like a prescriptivism, but just in general, 20 to 45 minutes for the first clear is generally, we have our podium in generally 45-ish minutes. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but I think that's like a satisfying amount, you know what I mean? And like, everybody actually gets to watch something. If people came in late, they didn't miss the first section or whatever. You know, it gives us a little bit of something to do, yeah, you know? Or the other thing to do would be, if we did have a level that was like a 2 or a 3, is the thing to do might be to have like a bunch of them, right? We have like 4 2 out of 10 levels, and then the race is to get to all of them. And that would, you know, now we need 4 makers and, you know, 4 times the testing and all this and that. So that's kind of been, at least, like, we haven't really, I don't know if we really like sat down and talked about it, but yeah, if we had like 4 separate makers made a 2 out of 10 level, or 1 maker made a bunch of 2 out of 10s. In the past, we have had ROM hack race events, and we haven't done this for a long time, but we have had events where a maker did make more than 1 level and just race to the end. Like, the race is done when you get to the end of the 5th level, or beat the castle, or get the credits or whatever. That's possible, right? You know, we're always kind of, personally, I'm always sort of open to, I think I speak for staff, but, you know, you can add your own ideas, is like, I'm open to these kinds of things. These kind of like, well, what if we had a different kind of idea for the race? What if we tried something new? What if we, you know, had some kind of curveball? I'm for that, you know, and I think ROM hack races thrives when we are a place for makers and players to get something new. When it isn't like every week is just like, okay, it's another by the books cookie cutter level. Okay, yes, 20-minute clear time, 5 out of 10. You know what I mean? Where it's just, I also, you know, prescriptivism is rough. Here goes Max in the lower left. Prescriptivism is rough, but also sameness can be rough too. You know what I mean? Like, just another, do a shell jump. You know, I love shell levels, but I get the complaint. You know, it's just like, do a shell jump, do a spring thing. You know what I mean? Sameness can get bland too, and if we have too much prescriptivism, then everything is just a cookie cutter. So I like that ROM hack races can be a place where you might see a hybrid level, you might see more of a puzzle, you might see 3 easy levels. You know, you never know, and that's letting the makers bring what they want to the table. You might see a collab level like next week from Mason and Friends, and I like that. I think our community survives and thrives when we allow that diversity to flourish. A diverse ecosystem is a healthy ecosystem, and if we want to grow and let Kaizo thrive, then an easy thing we can do is be accepting of new styles and let them have the space in the community too, which we all do already. I'm not wagging my finger at anybody. Metroid Planets level pack. I've never even heard of Metroid Planets, but I did notice Endless getting that H. Proto Pizza not too far behind. Whoa, Metroid Planets is a Metroid maker. Oh, wow. Whoa, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But again, you know, like I've always said, we're ROM hack races, not specifically Kaizo races, not specifically Mario World races, you know. We have in the past done other games. We have in the past had other special events. These things are all interesting and cool. And if you have ideas or would like to talk a little bit more, hey, maybe you could join our Discord server, talk shop with us anytime. Or maybe you just want to make your own Super Mario World Kaizo. Well, that can be challenging, you know, a lot of patches to apply, a lot of things to do. What if there were a way to make that easier? What if there were a way to get yourself like a Bob Ross pre-stretched canvas that's ready to paint and a full set of paints delivered right in a nice box so that you can just get ready and get going now instead of having to mess around and set everything up first? Well, let me tell you what, this is real. It's a possibility. From Ampersand and the ROM Hack Races dev team, we've got the new and improved, constantly improving ROM Hack Races base ROM. And that is just how I said. If you want to try Mario World hacking and build something, it can be daunting to set up all the quality of life patches and get everything situated and make what you want. The ROM Hack Races base ROM makes it so much easier. It gives you a lot of quality of life tools, pre-applies patches and things you might need ahead of time, gives you lots of extra sprites and graphics and things to work with, and generally just makes the process of starting out a ROM hack so much easier. And we have Amper and the ROM Hack Race dev team to thank for that. Yo, Proto, Yo, Max, back again. But are they going to use the power of the butt? This is another section, just like what Max is on here. This is another one of those sections where, oh man, they almost had it. Where, you know, like I said, there's not a singularly enforced through line of motion. I know that's like one of those, sounds like one of those pretentious academic-y kind of descriptions, but that really is what I've been kind of musing on lately as a functioning academic definition of Kaizo that doesn't necessarily prescribe any form of difficulty. You know, Kaizo is tough. What does that mean? That's subjective. You know, a shell jump for a new player is impossible, and if you're Louis Doucet or Revelug, it's no problem. So what does tough mean? We need a definition that doesn't include difficulty as a rule, because we can't really ever define that. So this whole thing with Kaizo is, you know, having one singularly enforced through line of motion, that the path you take between the obstacles gives you one thing to do, and that's what you do. And like I said, with that hybridization, now suddenly they've opened that up, right? Vanilla Mario World and old and new standard hacks, what do they do differently? Some of them are very hard. You know, Hyper 6, Luigi's Adventure, these standard hacks, Rakugaki Mario World, standard hacks that could rival the difficulty of any Kaizo you could name. But what are they doing differently? What makes that standard? What makes it Kaizo? It's the singularly enforced through line of motion. And that's what Kaizo has that standard hacks don't have. And when we hybridize, we get obstacles like the line of saws that Max is dealing with, or down in the lower left you see Max about to go through this hall of dry-boned fish again. This is always going to be a little different every time. They're going to spawn differently, they're going to move differently. You don't just take one enforced path. Instead, you improvise a little bit. You have to maybe jump or move in a certain way. You got to watch out. Fernap's got to watch out. Or use the power of the butt, you know, to get through. But there's not this prescribed, formulaic, single approach. And I personally think that's valuable, and I like putting these ideas out because I think that's valuable, and I do think it's a way to define what Kaizo is in a way that is, you can actually point to it. You can look at any obstacle and you can say there is one through line of motion, or there are many through lines of motion. And like, perhaps that means that you could make a Kaizo level that's actually very, very, very easy, but it has one through line of motion. And like, would that be Kaizo? Like, I would say, yeah, actually. You know, when we do things like this, you know, the empirically derived taxonomy, when we do things like this, we open ourselves up to the possibility that some philosopher somewhere is going to pluck a chicken and bring it to us and say, behold, I have brought you a man. Like, yeah, that's how that works, you know? Here goes Proto. Yo, look out in the lower right. They got that tied down. But now how you gonna get up there, buddy? I do wanna give the props to Rakugake Mario World. That's a good one. We need more like that, honestly. And you know, talking about this whole standard Kaizo hybrid thing, you're gonna hear this from me forever as a broken record into the infinite void. If you treat your gameplay seriously, for those that want to do that, not everybody wants that. Some people just want to play a hard game and win and have fun. Valid, perhaps smarter and more valid. But if you're the type of weirdo that wants to take their gameplay really seriously, you ought to play standard. You're really not doing yourself any favors by only playing Kaizo hacks and therefore only learning single solution formulaic obstacles. You haven't, I mean, I don't mean to be like no true Scotsman on this, as Fernap sliding that majestic Mario butt to the door. You know, there's everybody can be a true Scotsman or woman or non-binary Scots person. But I don't think personally you're doing yourself very many favors. You haven't necessarily learned how to shell jump. You've simply learned how to shell jump in the way that this maker in particular has done for you. And when you go to another level, another maker's gonna have a shell jump at a different angle, or a lower pit, or a higher wall, or whatever. And suddenly, oh no, have you learned anything? What you want is the skills in the abstract. You want to be able to just be really good at making Mario move around. You want to be the Mario controlling equivalent of a parkour player, or you want to be the Mario equivalent of Proto Pizza, because if you were, you would have already beaten the level, you'd be done, you'd be the best, and you'd be out of here. GG. Looks like Endless Ascent's gearing up for their clear. Can they do it with the tide? Oh! But I don't know, you know, that's like my crusade. One of my crusades in Kaizo is really to stick up for standard. You know, we stand on the standard shoulders of giants who came before us, and if you really want to get good, I think you really ought to play something that doesn't just tell you what to do all the time. You know, Kaizo can be just do it. This is, you know, if it's not like it's especially cryptic or whatever, you know, some setups can be cryptic, but you know, Kaizo just says do this really hard jump and then you do it. But you want to go beyond that. You don't want to just have someone tell you, hey, do this jump in particular. You want to look at that and say, oh, I know how to do this jump already, right? It's that abstract skill, and you can build that more quickly in standard hacks than you can in Kaizo, I feel. Plus, if you go back, you know, I really don't mean to be any kind of like originalist about it or anything, but it used to be that we only had regular vanilla Mario World, and we played it so much that we got bored and started doing silly challenges like don't touch the floor or invented speedrunning or whatever, you know. But if you take it all the way back, you know, back in my day, we didn't even used to have Kaizo. We had to make Kaizo because we got so bored playing the vanilla game that we just had to do something else, you know. So some people learn Kaizo by playing Kaizo. That's valid. In the modern age, that's how a lot of people are getting into it. But if I may be Yoda Bruce Lee for a second, your training is not complete until you have also tried some standard and gotten the hang of improvising and working out what the favorable through line of motion will be instead of just being told it by the level. It's sometimes the difference between like you're very strong, you practiced physical fitness a lot, and you're really good at the Ninja Warrior obstacle course, right? You can run across the rocks and climb the rope and go across the slide and do all the pull-ups and stuff. But if someone were to put you, big strong person, out in the wilderness and make you survive for a week, suddenly your skill at the Ninja Warrior obstacle course doesn't really help you very much. You're not going to get very, I can do I can do 100 pull-ups. Like, well, we're here in the Siberian wilderness where that's not a helpful skill to have. In that same way, sometimes Kaizo only trains you to be a power lifter. You know, you don't really, all you can do is lift the really heavy bar, you know, you want a little bit more than that. I think personally, you know, well, round out your skills a little bit with some nuance and dexterity, those things you get from standard that's harder to get from Kaizo. And I hope this comes through as sincere advice, because I absolutely love Kaizo. This is me, your friend and humble narrator Glitchcat, telling you that Kaizo is not everything, that shell tricks are not all that there is to do. I promise, that is the case. You know what I would really like to see too? Everybody speedruns Kaizo. Okay, cool, good. I may do it myself here at a marathon coming up, but I would really love to see more standard hacks routed into a speedrun. You have the same opportunities. If you want to do cool tricks, heck, you're breaking the design all the time. Standard hacks have all kinds of opportunities for time saves with mid-airs and Kaizo tricks and all the stuff we love to do. But instead of dying when you mess up, maybe you would just bunk and not save 5 seconds or something. And that's not as crushing, you know, of a emotionally devastating, you know? So I would personally love to see people bring their high skill Kaizo sensibilities to routing and running a standard hack instead. I think there's a lot of potential there. Heck, maybe I should put my money where my mouth is and make that a project for myself. I kind of always have been on the down low, like looking for a standard hack that would take really well to that. We shall see. Yo, Proto Pizza, thank you so much for the raid. Good clear tonight. The first Mario Wonder shell jump. Jump runs have been getting spicy. Cool. Yeah, that's kind of the thing I'm talking about, you know? Like, Kaizo just says, do it and don't die, and maybe minimize your slow fall sometimes if you can. Standard is like, figure it out. You know, a Kaizo world record will be broken by fewer deaths in the run, but a standard hack run could be broken by finding a more optimal way to do it. You know what I mean? All these things that, like, Kaizo speedrunning does kind of leave some things behind. It leaves route. You don't really route a Kaizo hack. You know what I mean? You might be able to find a time save, but that's actually not quite routing. It's a form. It's a little part of routing. It's like playing a chord to music theory. You know what I mean? Routing is this whole thing, and you don't really get to do that in Kaizo. You very rarely are like comparing two paths. Well, I could go over here and run and get P-speed, and that would be 10 seconds. Or I could do this and do this trick, and that would take 7 seconds. So this is the optimal way, right? There's not a lot of balance when you come up to a Kaizo run like that. And personally, I like that more than just doing a run, which is just like, just do the formula, you know? It's fun, it can be, but it's just the same thing, you know? You're not exercising that creative part of your brain that's looking for a weird solution. But so I don't know, you know, anybody out there, any speedrunning hopefuls, any GDQ hopefuls? You know, maybe a plumber for all seasons would be a really cool run if someone could do it really smoothly. Like those standard hacks are nice, and I know Kaizo has the flashy tricks and stuff, but that's just because nobody's routed a standard hack with a bunch of flashy tricks yet. You know, you really could do that. Like there's all kinds of stuff, right? Standard hacks have free shells and power-ups and Yoshis and springs and keys and literally all the stuff we need to do cool Kaizo tricks and to find cool routes and skips and things. Like, well, this level wants you to go over here and do all this stuff, but you can just mid-air over it. That's what we love. Like, don't we love that, you know? Like, I'm being silly. I'm not trying to, like, get down on anybody, but you know what I mean? Like, isn't that what we love? We love mid-airs and P-switch jumps and little one-frame things and tight ways to get P-speed that are kind of unintentional. We freaking love that. I think that Kaizo players are a little bit scared of P-speed preservation. You don't see it that much in Kaizo, and I'm always kind of happy. No offense, y'all, but I think that sometimes the speedrunning standard thing gets out the window because it involves P-speed preservation, and that's much more of a Mario 3 thing than a Mario World thing. And Mario 3 has the more nuanced and complicated P-speed management, but nonetheless, for its incredibly basic aspect of Mario, you really don't see a lot of Kaizo obstacles that have you preserving P-speed for a long period of time, as you would in a standard hack, right? If you're speedrunning a standard hack, that's your first goal, is to figure out how to get P-speed and keep it as much as you can, right? In tricky ways by doing tight jumps and weird situations and whatever. And if you lose it, get it back immediately. But you don't get that in Kaizo. But you know what you do get in Kaizo? You get Endless Ascent, jumping up that staircase and running all the way down. GG, Endless, well played. Max, Takeover, and Fernap here hanging out on the final section. I really do see, you know, Kaizo and the Kaizo community. I really conceptualize it as like just a dense jungle rainforest, you know, and there's so much. It's ancient, it's old. There's history in the deep, dark corners of it, and all the time new species are emerging, new plants and animals and weird things. And every time you go and walk in the forest, you like do not know what you're going to see. And then when you come back the next day, something might have hybridized and new things are being born and mutating all the time. And, you know, far be it from me to come and clear cut the area with prescriptivism to say Kaizo must be like this and only true Kaizo must be like this. My only point in talking about the through line of motion is just literally to define it, just so we can get it out of the realm of subjectivity and say, well, it's hard. I don't know what that means. It has hard tricks, item abuse. I don't know. It's difficult. Or whatever. Like, we can point to the single through line of motion and say all Kaizo hacks do this, all standard hacks don't do this, and that's just the nomenclature, you know what I mean? I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. We got Max, we got Fernap, we got me and you, Super Mario. I hope y'all are having a nice Saturday. How you doing? How you feeling? What's on your mind, chat? Who am I gonna get to hang out with at Pittsburgh GDQ? Take on a tour of our fair Steel City, to its many pinball bars and bridges. Fen, I could help you solve that debate if you want. Proto Pizza, that's gonna be rad. I'm excited. I want to take a walk over the Fort Duquesne Bridge. That's one of my GDQ goals. It's this big bridge, and apparently on Google Maps there's a walking path over. It's like over the river, but there's like a pedestrian path, and I didn't know about that. But I want to do it because it's like a big bridge. I know some people might not like heights or bridges or whatever. If you don't like bridges, Pittsburgh might be a little rough for you. Yeah, if folks want to go, we're going. We're gonna take a little march over the Fort Duquesne Bridge. Come to Pittsburgh and walk over a bridge with me. See all the sights. Well, the thing about it is that the GDQ hotel is located right on the point. I've mentioned this before on my stream, but for those that are unaware, the Pittsburgh GDQ hotel is right on the point where the rivers meet, where the Allegheny and the Monongahela meet to form the Ohio. And so we are directly on the waterfront there. And so if you walk across, I think it's the Fort Duquesne Bridge. If you walk across it, you are now right over by some awesome burger places, art museum, a music concert hall, and a bunch of pinball bars. So there's like a reason to go across the bridge. There's a place called Burgatory y'all should check out. If you think it sounds like they have great burgers, you'd be right. There used to be Three River Stadium. It's PNC Park now, I believe. And it is also directly adjacent to the hotel. The hotel is basically like smack dab in the middle of like tourist area. You know, the big sites in Pittsburgh are kind of just like right there. Yo, Max, takeover. Looks like they've got this, they've got the hang of how to dodge in this. They just have to wait for the carrot platform to sink low enough so they can sneak through there. Oh man, Max, I'm watching. They're working so hard with this obstacle. If they're standing on the green platform, it will sink. And if they're not standing on it, it will rise. So they have to maintain enough contact to get it to go down. Fernap working on the same problem. Also, the walk across the Fort Duquesne Bridge might be incredibly cold. I also have considered that we're going to be in Pittsburgh in January, so if it's like freezing out, we're not going to walk across the bridge, but I'm gonna do it. Actually, honestly, maybe even if it is cold. My cousin tells this story one time about, he has a lot of stories. My cousin was born and raised in Pittsburgh. He's a native. And he just always tells this story. I don't even think it's the Fort Duquesne Bridge, but he tells this story about just this crappy day that he had and how he had to walk all the way across the city and got snow in his beard and had to walk across the bridge. And I think about that story a lot, and I think in honor of that story, I am also gonna try to walk across the bridge in the freezing cold. I don't know. I'm sorry I'm so weird and I really get excited for things like walking across a bridge. Like, hey, there's fun stuff to do in the city and we're at Games Done Quick, but please come and walk across this freezing bridge with me because it'll be awesome. But it will be! But it will be fun. It'll be an experience. It'll be all of us just cold and shivery, walking across the bridge and looking at the water and the city and the cars going by and looking out on the water and just feeling the frigid air. It'll be awesome. Our toes will get all cold. Oh man, it'll be fun. It'll build character. I'm like Calvin's dad here. Walking across a bridge in the cold builds character. It'll be an experience. It'll be a bonding experience that we'll share, and then we'll get to a pinball arcade and have a delicious cheeseburger or taco and play pinball and then walk across the bridge again. But if we go to the bar before we walk across the bridge the second time, it won't suck so much. You know what else would be enriching? Max here on the left looking for that checkpoint. Ooh, they just got to time the jump on the rotating fuzzy there. Oh, that was it! Oh, stay alive. You got this, Max. You got this. Ah. Sorry for going on about it too much. I'm just very excited that GDQ is coming back to like what is essentially my hometown away from home, and I'm excited to be like Captain Pittsburgh and give everybody the heads up. Cause like, you know, how many times have you gone to GDQ and no one was local to tell you where the good stuff is, you know? American pie is delicious. We've all eaten it too much. But imagine if there were more restaurants. You know, imagine if there were more places to have food at GDQ. Not just American pie. What a world it could be. What are you all up to? How is your Saturday? We got Max here, we got Fernap working hard. We got plenty of time for some clears and some smiles. How are you? What's on your mind tonight? How's your weekend going? There's only so much commentary I can give on exactly the same obstacles, but if you came in late, if you have a question, you want to learn something, please feel free to shout it out. Yo, let's shout out for Max. Nice. That is checkpoint. Superior Pathfinder session last night. Fun. I feel drained because you gave it all to the game, you know? Oh yeah, OLDC. Yeah, that is happening. That'll be fun. I'm not a judge for that, so so I'll just get to play them. I think intense imagination can be physically exhausting. I find the same sort of thing when if I had a really productive day of making art, I might wake up the next day and feel like physically drained or just a little bit like mentally exhausted. Like I don't want to think about complex things anymore. It's because I spent all my time the other day in this like high focus, intense imagination zone, and you know my brain is just like I don't want to do that right now. I do, because right, like, you know, imagination is like, this is just armchair, just speculation, but like, you're envisioning the scenario, you know what I mean? At some point, you know, your kind of animalistic fight or flight thing is like, I am picturing myself running from enemies or doing something or finding something, you know what I mean? So like, I think like you trick your brain into like being exhausted. Because when you're creative, you're sorting out complexities. You're balancing things. You're saying this but not that, and this for such and such reason, and not this for other reason. You know, and that takes energy. That takes energy. Deliberation, understanding, figuring out is exhausting. Creation really, it is, you know, creativity is a process of figuring out and making some decisions and sorting out what is from what isn't. Yo, totally, yeah, playing Magic. I can imagine, honestly, I get exhausted. I get exhausted from just a little bit of Magic the Gathering because of all the complexity. So much, like, I'm looking at this list of cards like, how do I balance a deck here? Yeah, no, even a little bit of Magic just wears me right out. That's really cool you're a writer too. I think that's awesome. I wanted to be a poet when I was younger, but I don't think I can write anything good until I'm like 80. I think when I'm 80 I'll have something to say. I did write a poem about Mario one time. Yo, Max. Making some moves here. Let's go. Oh. I am that friend that will definitely play Magic the Gathering with you and constantly be wondering what the cards do. Okay, I'm going to cast Sorcerer of Extreme Peril. Oh yeah, what's he do again? And then 5 minutes later, like, oh wait, how are you doing that? How are you getting extra life there? Oh right, because Sorcerer of Peril, right, forgot about that. Like, all the time, all the time. Oh right, because you had the Clockwork Artifact of Extreme Necromancy that lets you win the game automatically. Right, gotcha. In college, I played with this guy that was like pretty good. He did like some tournament stuff and it was really into it. And I remember one deck in particular he made was this like, the card I think was called Myr Incubator. It's like a artifact card that lets you make droid tokens. And he would just do this combo where he would just like make 500 tokens and he would be like, well, I'm gonna create 500 robots now. And yeah, I think the card was Myr Incubator. And nice H, there we go, Max. Yeah, he would just be like, okay, I'm gonna make like 500 tokens now, and I'm gonna attack with all of them, and you're gonna get 500 damage. And I'm just like, well, okay, I guess I lose then. Like, okay, you won. Yeah, they would just use Myr Incubator to just generate all of these tokens and just be like, well, I have 500 of these things now. Like, okay. A lot of Magic for me is just, like, patiently learning what the cards do and then graciously losing. It's like, I don't even know what the strategy of my deck is supposed to be. You know, someone else just like, well, I've got these artifact cards that let me have 5 extra token creatures on the board, and I'm going to attack, and I'm like, well, I have a spell that makes my creatures stronger, and I have 1/4/4 monster here, so I guess I'm going to block, and now I have no monsters, and I lose. Like, I just kind of sit there and smile and get my butt kicked, you know? I like the artwork. It's my favorite part about Magic. The artwork on the cards is awesome. I love the old school card artwork. It looks rad. It's just something neat about it, man. It looks real cool. Nice H there, Fernap. I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, what's that phrase? I heard Mithrillionaire use it one time, like ships passing in the night in Magic games, where it's like both decks just have like this 5-card combo that they want to get out, and they're just kind of drawing until that happens. And it's just like, shuffle the deck, and then let's see which one of us gets our 5-card combo out first. Like, it's weird. It's something I've never really been able to wrap my head around. Like, how do you even come up with something to do in Magic? What do you even do? Because, like, one person's deck is like, the strat is like, okay, I'm gonna get out a bunch of creatures, and then all those creatures like give each other power and toughness, so the more of them I have, then I'll be unstoppable. And like, that's the one strategy. And the other strategy is like, I'm gonna use a bunch of artifacts and spells and instants to like just lower your life total directly, and there's nothing you can do about that because you can't block my creatures. Or I can't block your big creatures, but you also can't block my artifacts, because neither of our decks are geared for that. So it's just like, who gets their thing out first? And I've never really been able to understand, like, what do you do? Like, what do you do in that scenario? Like, you just kind of hope that you get your 5 cards? Like, I don't know. It's always confusing. Like, how do you guard against everything that could possibly be done to you? You know, like, I need cards that block monsters. I need cards that lower the life total. I need cards that deal with artifacts or enchantments, or cards that attack some other aspect of things. I need cards that destroy land. You know, there's just like all these like, well, if they can destroy my creatures and they can destroy my artifacts, but they can't destroy land. So I can do something that if I have a lot of land, I win the game or something. Like, there's always an angle where you can't block them. You just can't do it. But again, I'm a complete scrub, so I really know nothing about Magic. What I do know is that Fernap and Max here are doing very, very well. Max working on the superstar section. They're gonna grab that star before, or grab the green shell before they grab the star, and then do that big item swim. Fernap, meanwhile, working on opening the, get the cut out of that line with the scale platforms, and then clip through the floor rather, with the rope. I really like listening to Magic the Gathering commentary because it's hilarious if you don't know what they're talking about, and I love it, actually. Out of context, it's just wonderful. It's just like, okay, we're gonna, oh yeah, looks like he's bringing out Plague Ogre there. Now, we haven't seen Plague Ogre for a little while, and ever since the whole water gun combo. Oh, wow, he's playing Kaleidoscope. We haven't seen, okay, Kaleidoscope does beat Ogre. Oh yeah, but look at this. Oh, he knows the whole melody on the Kaleidoscope. That's pretty impressive. He's playing the xylophone. Wow, okay, we haven't seen xylophone strats against Ogre for a long time, but this could be an interesting matchup. It's just like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, water gun meta is pretty big here, especially when you combine it with Necromancer of Endless Sorrow. Yeah, if you equip Necromancer with the Nerf gun, there's really no stopping it, unless he's pulling out a wall of ghosts. Oh my gosh, he's got the wall of ghosts. Nothing can stop that. Like, it's just like, dude, like, I can make up words too, man. Like, I can totally make up words. Wow, okay, he is putting the Plague Doctor mask, and I do think, yeah, he's equipping that to the stuffed teddy bear. Ooh, now a lot of people wouldn't go for that. They would wait to equip it to the Reptar doll. But in this case, I don't know. It looks like, oh, and that's gonna be Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Wow, we haven't seen that combo in a long time. Can't believe it. Sally does beat stuffed teddy bear, so that's gonna be round one. It's just like, okay. This, whatever, man. Whatever, man. If you say so. Oh, whoa! Looks like Mithrillionaire's pulled out The Cheese Stands Alone, and nothing's gonna counter that. Oh no! Here comes Chaos Confetti. Now, these are real cards. I just want to be clear about that. I know about The Cheese Stands Alone. If you control no other cards than The Cheese Stands Alone, you win the game. Uh-oh, Fernap. Look out here on the right side, fighting that tide. Trying to ride. Ooh, denied. I really enjoy the unsets. My cousin and I play unglued decks against each other pretty often, and it's really fun, especially for Ashnod's Coupon. I always put that in my deck to make him get me a drink. That's the sole purpose of that card being in my decks I play with him. Like, oh, it's freaking Ashnod's Coupon again. Like, yep, man, gonna have a beer. Ashnod's Coupon is target player gets you target drink. That's the card. I also like Keeper of the Sacred Word. Actually, I've been wanting to make a collage using a Chaos Confetti card. Like, I want to actually take a Chaos Confetti card. The Chaos Confetti is, you're supposed to, the text on the card says to rip it up. Like, physically rip up the card and then throw it all around, and it destroys whatever it touches. Like, the fragments of it. But I thought it'd be cool to make a collage and rip up a Chaos Confetti and then, like, put it in the collage. Yo, Fernap with that H, let's go. It is Fernap versus Max Takeover on the final section here. Oh no, sorry, second to last. This is turning out to be a good race. I like this. I like this one. That's a good combo. That'd be funny to have, like, the cheese stands alone against a deck that is just trying to destroy all your stuff. Like, haha, you think that? What kind of cards would be in the Magic the Gathering Kaizo Mario set? Not even just Mario. Like, I think Seth Bling actually made a Mario custom Magic set, but like I mean specifically Kaizo Mario. It's the Kaizo Mario expansion. What's the it's got to be in a non-block for the symbol, right? But what cards are in Kaizo Mario Magic? Thwomp Boss. And the Thwomp Boss and the art on the card is like the Thwomp Boss retextured as some other sprite, and the flavor text is just like, hey, I swear I've seen this boss before. Surprise fish, that's gotta be an instant, right? That is true, I heard about that, yes. Post Malone bought the One Ring Magic card. Not from me though, unfortunately. Target permanent now becomes Thwomp Boss. There could just be a sorcery that's like map 16 edit. Target card becomes other target card. Or target card target card is now called other card, but still acts as previous card. Like, so you could like turn a creature into like a creature type into a land. Like, oh, you can't destroy that creature anymore. It's a land now. Kaizo block would counter an attacking creature. Like I feel like Kaizo block has to do something. You know what I mean? Like you have to counter attacking creature. Destroy attacking creature. Maybe it would like, maybe Kaizo block would like destroy target attacking creature and immediately regenerate, right? Like, or return target attacking creature to its owner's hand. That kind of seems like, you know, because like you hit a Kaizo block and then you start the level over again. You don't like die forever. You just go back and do it again. Whoa, that's a good one, Doc. Post Gold Troll, X mana. If your opponent has won the game, you may play this as an instant. If your opponent cannot pay X, the game resets. That's wild. That's a good one. The flavor text for that is just GG. Oh. Oh, nice try, Max. Going for that star swim. They want to grab that green shell and swim all the way through that section. Yo, Fernap, they've got the idea here too. I really like the use of the fish as an obstacle here, because at first glance, you have a star. What are the fish gonna do to you? They're not gonna hurt you, but they are an obstacle because you don't want to collide the shell with the fish. It will remove your shell. Oh, I like that. Super Mushroom, enchant creature. The next attack that targets them does 0 damage instead. That's a good one. Yoshi Ditch, sacrifice target creature you control, another target creature you control gains flying until end of turn. Nice. There should be a card, like some kind of uncard that's just like morsel, and the text is like, play this card only if you can't play this card, but don't play this card if you can play this card, and only play this card one time every turn unless you already played it previously on the previous turn, in which case play it twice, except if you can't play it once, then don't play it again, and if you're not planning on winning the game, then don't bother. Let him chew on that one. You may learn it. Oh yeah, I can see having morph. Yeah, having a morph cost for it. See, I know how to play Magic the Gathering. All right, I just want to get a little bit of nerd credit. I know how to play Magic. I know what a morph cost is. I know what that is. 1F0. All permanents may not tap or untap. Wow. Yeah, it's 1F0. Yo, the race is on right now to get this shell through the hallway. Point of advice. Read the full text of this card. If your opponent interrupts in any way, they lose 1 life, and you must begin reading from the start. If you do not finish reading the text, you lose 1 life. How about T Takamoto? It's a creature card, but it's powerful, but it has no type. It cannot be the target of spells and ability, and does not have a type. It's just nothing. You can't target it. You can't do anything. You can't know about it. Or like T Takamoto, like a creature that can only deal damage, but never taps and never does anything, and like doesn't exist otherwise, but it can deal some damage. Cannot be killed, cannot be exiled, cannot be removed. Permanent staple of the game, just constantly deals some amount of small damage. You all should play more Asteroids. That's a game that'll train you. You want to be good at video games? Asteroids. That sounds like sarcasm, but I mean it. And I have a whole academic reason why. Okay, it's not academic. I made that up to sound more important. It's not really academic. One thing that I've noticed, yeah, check it out, Max. Good strats there on Max Takeover's side. When you grab the star, that star timer starts counting down. You have a limited amount of time with the star, that's it. So, if you want to maximize the amount of invincibility time you have as you move through that section, the prudent thing to do is to grab the star as close to the right-hand side as possible, so that as soon as you get it, you're right in there, and you don't have to worry about covering that small amount of distance between where you are and where you're trying to go. Oh, that was so close though, Max. Yeah, definitely they've got it. So they could make up a little bit of that time by being closer to the right, moving a little bit faster among the fish, and that sort of thing. Because the thing about Mario World, which I think a lot of people like understand intuitively, but maybe not like out loud, is this is a weird. I'm getting on one of my weird things here, but it is true, I think, is that space and time in Mario World are equivalent. Because things, I mean, I know frame oscillation for speed or whatever, and sprites interacting every other frame, but just ignore that for a second. You move at a constant rate. So one block of space is also, this works for many, many video games. One block of space is also expressed as a unit of time, right? Because you can move so fast through that space. So what I'm trying to get at is, like, if you grab the star in this section, if you grab it 2 blocks away from the right, then you have 2 blocks less time on the timer. And a way that you can tell how you want to adjust yourself and what you're doing wrong in a level is to see how you die, right? Max is paying attention. I'm sure they took a note of where they died as they're getting through this section, right? They almost got to the end, but they were X number of blocks away. 2, 3, whatever. And the number of blocks you miss it by can show you how far ahead you need to start. Does that make sense? You can look at the distance that something is, and you can use that to come up with an equivalent time. Like a physical distance in the game is also a timing, is a particular timing. Does that make sense? It really makes sense to me. Like, I don't know, maybe this is really just me being weird, but like a 2 block, you can look visually at a 2 block distance, and then you can know how long it takes. Like, I hope I'm making sense. 2 blocks is a unit of time, and you can look and see how much time. You can physically see the time. Does that make sense? I don't think I'm making sense. Blocks are time. 2 blocks is a unit of time. Yeah, exactly. It's those micro optimizations inside what you need to be doing. How do we do it a little faster? How do I do it a little better, more optimally? And instead of just kind of blindly figuring that out in the dark, or not blindly, some people are actually blind, but with your eyes closed, perhaps, in the dark, in a dark room, rather than just kind of guess, you can look at the physical space to determine where your timing mistakes are taking place. You know, you can look and say, okay, I missed this by 2 blocks, so that probably means I want to be 2 blocks to the left or to the right next time I do it. You know how much space you know how much time it takes to cover a certain distance. So you can look at where you are and figure out where you will be or where you need to be. You don't have to just sort of guess or go on some kind of internal clock. You can look at the grid. Oh, Max takeover. This run looks so good. Yes! Yes! Yeah! Max taking over that checkpoint section. That was really good. Well played. They really, they just like got good, you know? That's what you get to see, man. You get to see that on ROM hack races. Players getting good in real time. Also, I want to let you know before I forget, neither here nor there, but just a heads up. That is to say, me, GlitchCat, I may be not doing commentary for next week's race. I will be back. I'm just taking a week, but I think Doc or someone else might sub in for me. I'm gonna go see my buddy's band. They're playing a show. Actually, it's right down the street from the GDQ hotel, so I'm going to where the GDQ hotel is. I'll scope it out. But they're playing a show at this place with like 14 or 15 free play pinball machines. And you know, I like doing ROM hack races. It's the highlight of my week, but it's not every day that I get to just go for free and see my buddy's band while I'm playing pinball all night. So I'm gonna go do that. But we do have a level coming up next week from Mason and Friends, so you know that's gonna be cool. But we'll have the same old fun race. I just have someone sub in for me. Yeah, they have some cool machines. I'm really excited. They have a machine that I've really wanted to play for a long time, but I haven't got a chance yet. TNA, Total Nuclear Annihilation. They have 15. I checked it out. I'm gonna play TNA. I'm gonna play Congo. Yo, let's go, Max. All right, taking over. Now they just gotta figure out how they want to get up to that big flat section. I have never seen a TNA in the wild, so I'm excited. Apparently it is awesome. People really seem to like it. It looks awesome. But yeah, that's just next week, and that's just a week off for me. I do these every Saturday sometimes. Sometimes something comes up. Best soundtrack of any pinball ever? I'm sold. Hey, did y'all see I know we're talking pinball, but I know Doc and other friends are into it. Labyrinth, brand new company, brand new machine. They're making Jim Henson's Labyrinth with Bowie. It looks pretty cool. I watched the trailer for it a little bit. It looks like a really souped up '90s machine. Like it's like got that same thing. It like doesn't look like it's trying to be like a modern Stern or a Spooky. Fernap in there, nicely done, Fernap. Well played. But yeah, it really looks like, yeah, they're swinging for the fences. It looks like it reminds me of those like '90s Williams. It hits like, I don't know, like Medieval Madness or Theater of Magic or something. It just has that vibe. So I'm curious to see. We are all tied up here at the final section. Max Takeover versus Fernap for the championship of the world. Yo, Max Takeover getting close here. Also, Fernap too. I think we're gonna see it here, man. I think we're gonna see two. We're gonna get a full clear on this one. Oh man, they're both right here. Oh, this is awesome. Check it out. Oh, Fernap's got the chance. Ah, yeah, but you don't wanna. Yeah, we can have a little shell jump as a treat. Oh, I don't know if Max, yeah, they're trying to keep the water on. Again, I didn't even really think about that till I saw the players do it, but that's a very reasonable assumption to make here. I don't even think it's like a problem in level design or anything, but 9 times, sometimes 10 times out of 10, hitting the message block and turning off the tide is a troll thing that you want to avoid. Most Kaizo teaches the player that. And I really understand why all of the I understand why all of the racers are doing this. Oh, Fen noticed it right on. I didn't even. But yeah, Max very skillfully actually avoiding. Yeah, they're deliberately avoiding hitting that block, which that is funny to me. I get it, you know. And I do think it's interesting that, yeah, now they have to do the more challenging version of the scale platform trick, but with the alive fish. Because when the tide goes away, those little floppy fish down there, they won't actually hurt you. Only the fish in water hurt you, but those little floppers, they're fine. It's like being attacked by a little tiny kitten. They want to get you, but they're just too small. Little fangs don't do anything at all. All right, Max and Fernap here. One section to go, and we are GG. Hey, I want to say while we're hanging out here cheering for these clears, thank you for making ROM Hack Races a little part of your Saturday night. This is one of my favorite parts of the week. I really love doing these, and I love the community that we have built and established here. And that's thanks in no small part to the volunteers and the people who work really hard to make these races every week. Of course, hwailaluta, our maker tonight. Also, Doc on the restream, always helping us out. Such a living heart and soul of this. Fen always helping out as well. We got Ampersand making the base ROM. Kelgan and D4 helping us out with tech. We got Fen, RB, Mithrillionaire testing the level. And all of that really, really matters. We got scouts even. What's up, Doc and Kelgan are scouting for us tonight. And that helps out so much. So thank you all for doing that. And thanks to y'all for hanging out and chilling. Drop a follow if you want, because we have these races every Saturday night. Starts about 7:30 with the pre-show-ish, and the race is on promptly at 8. Yeah, they've flipped. Yeah, that is true. Shell jump out of water is tougher, and also you have the tide here kind of working against you. So as soon as you jump out of the water, you're no longer being pushed back by the tide, and that can screw you up. Yeah, that's the kind of thing, is just like this sort of, you say you learned the hard way. That tracks, and that's Kaizo does have this kind of thing of this kind of a, as much as I want to try to, we try to avoid it, this kind of trial by fire aspect to it, where at a certain point, if you play enough Kaizo, me and you and everybody, at a certain point, we're going to come up against something that is just like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know this trick. I don't get the setup. It's really complicated. I'm not getting it. And we all kind of have to struggle, with the shell jump out of water. I remember when I played Fly Me to the Stars, that's how I learned how to do Yoshi Flight, and it took me like 7 hours just to figure that out. We all come up against these things that are like, I don't know how to do this and I'm struggling. And then once you get through that struggle and you learn the hard way, then you have that knowledge, In fact, if anything, like, some things I will never forget in Kaizo, specifically because they gave me a hard time at one point or another, Some people turned off the water, some people didn't. People got through with either strat. The easier thing to do is to turn off the water, but like I said, I really understand why people avoid it. Because again, 9 times out of 10, it is a troll thing you're not supposed to do. So, I get it. Well, we usually schedule about two hours for these broadcasts. We're getting really close here, but I will let our Master of Ceremonies, Doc, here, let us know if we want to do some overtime or what. That's a thing, Proto Pizza. It's a little bit of tech that I think is worth pointing out. Everybody always traditionally tries to grab nets and vines by pressing up. Right? That's like the standard. I think everybody kind of presses up, right? But you can also press down to grab onto a net or a vine in that same way. Oh, Max, that was right there. And sometimes pressing down to grab the surface is the better thing to do, because it starts, as soon as you grab onto it, you move down. slightly. So it's counterproductive if you are grabbing something where you eventually want to be lower, but you press up to grab it and then have to press down again to make yourself go to where you need to be. So it's a weird little thing. It like doesn't even matter in a lot of cases, but keep in mind that you can grab things with a down input just as easily, and that is the more helpful thing to do in some cases. Like for example, I think it was helping out a little bit at the thwomp obstacle because the thwomps are moving down at you, so that slight amount of down direction that you have keeps you a little safer. That fence was a tight obstacle though, for people that had a rough time with that one. That was a tight input window anyway. Yeah, there it is. Max Takeover has taken over. They are now king of the level. GG. I like how the credits keep Davy Brooks. The only American sounding name in the credits. I think they were the special thanks. We are gonna go, believe, and throw the raid over to Fernap, last racer and someone to cheer on. Y'all, thank you for making ROM Hack Races a little part of your Saturday. Thanks to all the racers for coming out. Maybe I don't say that enough, but I appreciate the racers. Thanks for racing and trying your best and having fun. Thank you so much to all the volunteers whose names I have mentioned. You're very, very kind, and I'm absolutely flattered to be doing this with everybody throughout the week. This is so fun. It's fun to do. It's fun to test. Fun to play. Thank you, hwailaluta, for making a really cool level tonight. And everybody, you should all look forward to the full edition of this level with even more sections and a cool little artistic thing going on. It is really cool, and whatever hwailaluta decides to do with that, you'll be watching for it because it's going to be a good one. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I hope to see you around the Kaizo community. I gotta practice Luminescent, and we'll see. Maybe I'll see you at GDQ. Thank you so much for hanging out. These are great. You matter. Your thoughts matter. Your heart matters. Your feelings matter. You matter to other people in your lives. You matter to me as human beings. You matter to the internet's #1 Longboy Furret. And the people that matter to you in your lives would love to hear from you about that. We know Black lives matter, LGBTQIA+ lives matter, Indigenous lives matter, disabled and autistic lives matter. You too. Have fun. Go follow the racers. Check it out. And I will see you all around this weekend. Play some more Kaizo. Practice some standard. Keep hacking. Be good to each other. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.